Kate, thank you very much.
Well, good morning, everybody. Great to be here, and I feel very proud to be standing here as Cornwall Council's Chief Executive on International Women's Day, but more about that a little later. First of all, I want to tell you about how I came to hear about this idea of environmental growth. And in March last year, at the end of my first 100 days as Chief Executive, I met with Matthew and Kevin as the Local Nature Partnerships co-chairs, and they very eloquently told me about the predicament of Cornwalls Environment and the efforts that are being made to increase the awareness of the challenges ahead. And my discussion with Kevin and Matthew had echoes of conversations that I've been having with colleagues within the council, Rachel Bice, during a bumpy ride around this very catchment where they were taking me out to understand the particular flooding issues that affect the St Blasey and Parr area. And while being shown those locations where we need to invest in to address these serious flooding problems through the STAR project, Rachel asked me what I thought the difference would be from working in Cornwall compared to working in North London. And by the time we were travelling back to Truro, I was very clear that one of, and possibly the defining difference, is the role that the environment plays here in Cornwall and in Cornish life. And with hindsight, these were key moments as I developed my understanding of Cornwall. They helped me to conclude that for Cornwall to be sustainable, the council must put equal focus on supporting our people, nurturing our prosperity, and stewarding our place. And I've begun transforming the council to reflect this, forming the Neighbourhoods Directorate and Environment Service within it, and I'm very pleased that we have a dedicated senior leader through Pete Marsh and his team to lead on the environment. We've formed this Neighbourhoods and Environment Service, and that is helping us make sure that our environmental growth strategy takes the long view. It links to our strategic economic plan and puts environmental growth centre stage in the work that we're doing as we try to improve the prosperity and the lives of the people of Cornwall. So I'm clear that our environment is the foundation for Cornwall's diverse communities. None of our seaside towns or inland communities are the same because they're all distinctly different places. Mounts Bay is a great example of this, an outstanding environment, part of Cornwall's AONB, but with an exposed coastal community that storms have a significant impact on. The future of this community needs to be built with both of these factors in mind. And the Penzance Expo last week was a great illustration of how communities will get engaged with developing opportunities from the challenges they face from their environment. So lots of creativity going on around how we can make best use of Mounts Bay, how we can work with the environment and not against the environment to build sustainable communities, which leads me to say about the role of Cornwall's history and what role it can play in our future. You will all have heard that the Council is going to lead a bid for Cornwall to become the European Capital of Culture in 2023. I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about the ambition that says that we have for Cornwall. But we need to embed what we're doing here today with that future that we want to talk about in 2023 through being the European Capital of Culture. And I believe that our environment can play a key role in that offer that we make. An offer that will be very different from Milton Keynes, or from Leeds, or from Dundee. I think we've got something very special. And through our work that we've been doing on devolution, we're going to have soon the results of our cultural distinctiveness study, which draws out the features of Cornwall's historic environment, which makes us so different from other areas. And we can use this knowledge to continue to develop the uniqueness of life of Cornwall into the future while telling the stories and valuing the past. But we can also make sure when we plan for this generation to prosper, the environment grows too, and recognising that together we're laying the foundations for the prosperity of future generations. The world's changing, isn't it? Dramatically. Budget today, fingers crossed. But we've also been thinking about what Brexit means to us here in Cornwall. And we published at the end of January a document called A Catalyst for Change, which was starting to identify what some of the risks and opportunities of Brexit are for this place. But I'm pleased to tell you that in conjunction with the Local Nature Partnership, we've recognised that we need to convene a further roundtable event specifically on what Brexit means for the environment of Cornwall, to make sure that we can advocate strongly to Westminster about what we need in the future to be both resilient to the changes and to find the opportunities in them. And I'm sure that some of the information and your ideas today will help inform us, our pitch that we want to make to government around the opportunities. So one of the things that I think the Council must do is to be a visible leader, to be a facilitator, an enabler, bringing people together. We don't have all of the answers, but we can and we must help us to speak with one voice to Cornwall. I want Cornwall Council to be known much more as a force for good than perhaps some of you have felt it's been in the past. And it's essential that we have a strong voice nationally for its own good, but also to showcase the excellent work that goes on here. And I'd ask for all of your help in achieving that by sharing your positive experiences of working together as part of Team Cornwall here with your friends and families, but also beyond. This is something where we have to provide the leadership from within this place if we're going to harness those opportunities that we have. And finally, to bring us back to where I started, it's International Women's Day, but I'm very happy for Matthew to continue with his leadership of today's event. But I'm proud, really proud of the outstanding women we have working in the council and that we work with. And a number of those have been instrumental in bringing the idea of environmental growth to life and who have brought this event together today and exemplify for me that we're stronger through working together. So Councillor Hannaford, Councillor Duffin, Rachel, Varian, Philippa, Jenny, Lauren, Davinia, many thanks for your hard work on making today happen. And I hope we all have a very successful, challenging and enjoyable time here at Eden today.